The following is an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.
We're here with NCCU head football coach Jerry Mack. Coach, if you could just start off with an opening comment about the victory at Florida A&M.
Exciting win. You know, it was a tough fought victory. It wasn't pretty, but we'll take it. I thought we really showed a lot of character as a football program, coming back in the fourth quarter and finding a way to win those tough football games. And I think that's going to help us going forward throughout the season.
And you guys were in a similar situation. Just this time last week, we were talking about a tough loss to Bethune-Cookman, where the team late in the game drove down the field. They were in position to kick the game winner and didn't execute. Same situation unfolded at Florida A&M. What was going through your mind then?
Well, we learned from our mistakes. We made some adjustments on our field goal team, and we put an extra wing over there, so we didn't allow those guys to come off the edge and block it. So that's what football is all about, and that's what life's all about. We learned from those mistakes, and we were able to come out victorious and execute better than we did the previous week.
And Malcolm Bell left the game after he got hit in the fourth quarter. Quinn Billerman comes in and leads the team on that final drive. Again, talk about the luxury that you have of having two very capable quarterbacks.
Well, we've always been highly confident in Quinn. He's always done an excellent job in his role coming in off the bench or starting off games and giving us that spark. And so we always have a lot of confidence, when Malcolm has a equipment error or, a small injury to come in the game. And, it just worked out for us the other night. He came in and led, I think it was 6 for 8 on his time in, and also led us to a touchdown that ended up tying the score.
Is Malcolm's injury, is that going to be a lasting thing, or was it just a one hit, just kind of shaken up and you needed somebody else to come in?
More shaken up. He walked off the field on his own. It was well on the sideline. Probably could have finished the game if we would have wanted him to, but he wanted to make sure he was, safe.
Does it feel like a win like this could jumpstart your season now? It's kind of weird, but it did take a while to get that first Division I win. Right. And can you tell a difference in the guys?
Again, we're playing and we're practicing this past week with a lot of confidence. Obviously, whenever you get a win, the mood around the whole building is different, and that's what we like. So, we're a lot of energy, a lot of confidence right now, and I'm hoping it propels us this week as well.
And for Nigel, when he hit that field goal, could you sense a sense of relief with him, after having had it blocked a week ago, kind of be able to redeem himself?
Right. Nigel's been really, really great since he stepped on campus. He's done an excellent job at practice, and I know he's looking forward to having that game winner against Bethune, and I was happy to see for him and for the entire football team that him come away with that field goal last Saturday.
Is he playing like a freshman, or is he playing beyond his years at this point?
No, we always say he has nerves of steel. We go out there to practice, now just very laid back, very easy going, and nothing seems to really get to him. And that's what you want in your kicker. In those tough situations, in those critical moments, he comes through with those kicks, and that's the reason he's been successful this year.
So, Coach, you got a Savannah State team that you're going down to see, and just talk about, look here, they have one win on a year, so it's still a team that I know you don't want to take lightly here, or your team take lightly.
Right, we can't take anybody lightly right now. We're playing decent football, and we got to continue to get better as a football program. They beat FAMU a couple of weeks ago, and they were in the game last week. They had a few unfortunate turnovers in the second half of the football game, but they were right in the first half. So we got to do a great job of making sure that we can control and take care of ourselves. Savannah State has a very good quarterback. He's a dual threat quarterback, and they've been in games all year long. They just haven't come out victorious at the end.
You guys have the 10th worst pass defense in the MEAC according to stats. Is that surprising to you, given how heralded the secondary core was heading into the season? Yeah,
we've had a few injuries. Mike Jones' injury, and Ryan's been working his way back, in the rotation. So we're playing a lot of new guys that get familiar with their role. We started off just like any other program. We started off pretty healthy, and now we're kind of in the almost mid-season, and those injuries are taking a toll on us a little bit. But those young guys, they got to grow up fast. That's just part of the business. So we're looking forward, and we continue to work with them, and hopefully we can get it turned around.
When you look at Savannah State, they have the worst pass efficiency in the MEAC and a pretty low pass offense numbers as far as like FAMU had a pretty good passing offense. Do you feel like this could be a week that your guys can really rebound and get a good game in the secondary?
Well, I hope so. We've been talking a lot about making plays on the ball, reliving, what we recruited those young men for, those high school moments to try to get interceptions, try to bat down balls. So we want to be more aggressive as far as making plays on the ball. So, Savannah's not having a lot of success right now, but at the end of the day, they have shown flashes where they can execute. They put up almost 40 points 2 weeks ago. So, we can't take them lightly. We got to just make sure that we continue to focus and we continue to be aggressive at attacking the football.
And Savannah State has had its opponents draw the most penalties, I think over 100 yards of penalty yards a game. How do you guys kind of prepare for that going in? I know you guys have kind of struggled sometimes with accruing some penalties, so how do you work on that this week?
We've got to be more disciplined. They do a good job of changing their snap count up and trying to draw the defensive unit, their opponent's defense, offsides. So we got to do a good job of being disciplined, watching the football and making sure, we line up correctly. And they do a good job playing with tempo as well. So those are some of the things that we got to make sure we take control over.
Do you have any incentives in practice, for penalties? If you don't get a penalty, then you don't have to do something, or if you get a penalty, you have to run so many sprints or whatever?
Yeah, we do a lot of things as a unit defensively. It comes to mind first. They always penalize. They'll do some extra running and certain drills in practice, when they have too many penalties. So we got to look small things in-house that we do.
Coach, when we talk about special teams or kicking game, and especially in the HBCUs, people kind of cringe a little bit. So, when it comes down to field goal kicking or punt return and things like that, how confident are you in your kicking game?
Well, that's been one of the staples of the program the last few years. Last year, it was probably what helped us to be co-champions. This year, it's been pretty good for us. I think we blocked a few punts that allowed us to be top in the country right now. Before Mike Jones got hurt, we were doing an excellent job at returning punts. So, Nigel right now is leading the MEAC in points as our field goal kicker. So, we pride ourselves in special teams. Coach Mendenhall does a great job of making sure those guys are well prepared and they execute well. And it's kind of known around North Carolina Central and around our program that, to be a part of the special teams unit is special here.
What does it say that your kicker is the leading scorer in the conference?
It means we recruited well. But, no, we're very proud of him. He's doing a great job of knocking out on the extra points down. When he gets in those moments to kick those field goals, he's doing a good job. So, we'll take points however we can get them, and, we depend on Nigel a lot.
Your team has the #1 red zone offense in the MEAC. Going into the season, that was kind of a question mark with Andre Clark graduating. Are you surprised by that, or are you really pleased with those numbers?
I'm pleased right now. We're doing a good job of executing down there in the red zone. We talk about our team, smell the end zone. We talk about being hungry when you get down there. And that's if you get a chance to touch the football or, if you get a chance to catch the football, you have to have a greater sense of urgency. And so far, so good. We're doing a good job of making sure we do those things.
This has been an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.